Here.
Scanlon.
Here.
Caldwell.
Here.
Vidlac.
Here.
Solomon.
Here.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
3, for public information, a copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is available for review. It's above Tom. 4, notice of changes in the agenda by the city clerk. Additions may not be made to this agenda less than 24 hours before the beginning of the meeting unless added under item 5 of this agenda. Do we have any changes?
No changes, Your Honor.
Okay, 5, citizens with business not scheduled on the agenda as required by state law. No matter may be considered under this item unless council determines that the matter requires emergency action. Do you have any emergency actions? Okay. 6, closed session. A, council reserves the right to enter into closed session if deemed necessary if the item is on the agenda as per section 84-1410 of the Nebraska Revised Statutes. Scottsbluff Youth Council. No youth council tonight. 8, consent calendar. Items in the consent calendar are proposed for adoption by one action for all items unless any member of the council requests that an item be considered separately. Do you have any questions or comments on the consent calendar? Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move to approve the consent calendar.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Kowal, second by Vidlac. Any other questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Caldwell.
Yes.
Solomon.
Yes.
Vidlac.
Yes.
Scanlon.
Yes.
McCarrigan.
Yes. 9, financial report. Council to receive the November 2023 financial report.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Len Kazire, Finance Director for the city, and I hope this is the last time you see me twice in the same month. So, I think I said this last time when we went over October's. It was about 3 million positive. This one's about 2.9 negative, and that's just those bond payments that were coming out. It's the way the money comes in and then comes out. So, those are really the big ones: the debt service payment for 20th Street project, and then the highway allocation bonds that came out, the transportation fund. Those were the big ones, and then compost turner that came out of environmental service and wastewater, and that was about it. I mean, I could go line by line if you wanted to, or if you guys have any questions for me.
Percentage-wise for the departments, everything looks good?
Yeah, for the most part, and as you look at those percentages too, sometimes you might look at one and it says it's like 100% spent and it's, December, so maybe that's a little alarming, but that's probably just the budgeted expense for that line item was already expended. Other than that, everything's looks like it's lined pretty well with where we're at percentage-wise for the fiscal year.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Scanlon, second by Solomon. Any other questions or comments?
Thanks, Lee.
Call the roll, please.
Solomon.
Yes.
Vidlac.
Yes.
Scanlon.
Yes.
McCarrigan.
Yes.
Caldwell.
Yes.
10, resolution and ordinances. Council to consider action on the second reading of the ordinance dealing with the rezone of Lot 1A, Block 8, Lockamore Edition from C2 Neighborhood and Retail Commercial to OP Office and Professional.
An ordinance of the City of Scottsbluff, Nebraska, dealing with zoning, amending Section 25-1-4 by updating the official zoning district map to show that Lot 1A, Block 8, Lockamer addition to the City of Scottsbluff, Scottsbluff County, Nebraska, currently zoned as C-2 Neighborhood and Retail Commercial, will now be included in O-P Office and Professional, repealing prior Section 25-1-4, providing for an effective date and providing for publication in pamphlet form.
Okay. Thank you. 11, petitions, communications, and public input. Council to receive an update from Riverside Discovery Center.
Good evening. Rather than do a PowerPoint, I gave you something to doodle on tonight.
Thank you.
A small tray of that.
Thank you.
We were all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to say first, I was in Laurel last week speaking to the village council about Keno funds, which they did give me. But I was asked my intention, do I plan on staying? And I answered, but then I was asked in Torrington twice within the last couple of days, and somebody from Scottsbluff asked me today. So we're all clear. I am here, regardless of what they all think or hope, until we get reaccredited and there's money in the bank. So that having been said, I want you all to know that AZA has not given up on us. I was given a mentor. Brian Acone from the Denver Zoo came up 2 weeks ago. He went through everything and said the animals look great, the area looks great, the husbandry is fantastic. It's just the finances, and he doesn't think that it's insurmountable. So, having said that, the first page, there we have a beautiful pie chart that Kimber did for me. Visitation to the zoo, and I do want to say on Saturday, we had somebody from Rapid City, we had people from Fort Laramie, from Lingle, from Hawk Springs, from Veteran, and we had one from Colorado. It is a draw to the community, especially if you're coming from Colorado or even Rapid City. You're buying gas, you're buying food, you may be staying. So just, please keep that in mind. We are good for your community. The attendance comparison, I am blaming the shift on that due to the loss of the animals in 2022. The pattern is about the same though. It's picking up. We do have our big sale, membership sale. In fact, we sold 4 more memberships just this afternoon. You turn that over and look at those numbers. The total membership sold in 2022, that's the total year. The membership sold as of December 17th. We still have 2 months to go. So I'm feeling very hopeful about that also. You'll also see that in August, September, and November, membership was up from last year. I would like to point out that personally, I think that's just telling us that the community is supporting the zoo. They are not giving up on us. Education, Little Explorers. We're 4 to 5 children a week. We are currently up to 2 separate groups on Wednesdays, totaling 20 plus. So that has bumped up. We do have several new education animals. Come see them. Paul has been going to assisted living and nursing homes in Alliance, also as part of the education, and they keep sending back wonderful things. We get food and blankets and things from them. It's always nice. So if any of you have a business, you have lunch, maybe you'd like to have somebody stop by with an ed animal and do a program. Good team building. I have a list of our inventory animals, with the exception of 8. They all belong to us. Those 8, 5 of those 8 belong to the animal curator. They're on loan to us. And my favorite to the whole thing here are these pictures. So these pictures, when you come to the zoo, you're not seeing anything getting done. A lot of this is behind the scenes. A lot is going on. A lot of repairs have been made. The Muntjac barn, that used to be just a pull switch, so that's kind of exciting. I was asked about the Bobcat exhibit. In the pictures on the next page, you can see the previous holding, what it looks like now with a ramp to the shift door, platforms, I doubled that. A squeeze box, that is for the vet, so he can get her in there and squeeze her in so she doesn't go anywhere. And also, it's nice to have lights available in those areas, which we didn't presently have. A lot of them were just switch lights. I was asked about the marble fox. That has been opened up. He's got the whole area now. And I also have pictures. We redid the back, that keeper area, so that on both sides there are windows so the keepers can see him. So they know where he's at before they open any doors. He was out bouncing around today. I'll slither in. You don't see that, but that's where the snakes are at and the tortoises. Electricity was redone in there, made that nice and safe. There's a picture of Miguel Laura working on support poles in what used to be the former tiger exhibit. That has been redone, so we are ready for animals there. BA Welding is going to start next week. He's coming in. He's going to work on that exhibit that was formerly the mountain lions. Completion date, April, he's giving himself a little bit of leeway there in case the weather gets bad. I'm excited to get that started. That's been one of my big ones. Projects, painting, as soon as the weather's nice again, come April or May, we have the hay barn, the ed lab, the Discovery building, the Ibis barn, all those areas will be painted. My goal is to have all of that done by September 30th. I'm hoping for nice weather, obviously. We are expecting to have trees and planters put in the parking lot. That will be completed by the end of 2024 also. That is coming in under part of our Shovel Ready grant. And my next big pet project after the Mountain Line exhibit is sensory signage and having that in place by the end of the year also. So those are just more recent projects. Questions? Come visit. I will give you a behind-the-scenes tour.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
You talk, I mean, you obviously have a lot of projects going on, but you talked about, the main issue with the accreditation is the finances.
Yes.
How do you, is that your responsibility, is that the board's responsibility, and how do you intend to do that?
I think it is a group effort between myself and the board. And we did sit down last week in our meeting and came up with some ideas for fundraising ideas. We are getting donations coming in. I'm not bragging, but I got 50,000 brought in over the last 7 months, so I have faith that we'll keep getting them. I had a couple, Saturday, I spoke to them. They had come in and they bought a $300 membership, and I was thanking them, and they said, we love the zoo. Everybody loves the zoo. I said, awesome. Come to the meeting. They didn't, but yeah. Cool. I think the support is out there.
Are you guys still doing the Tuesday morning events with?
We are. We've had nobody come, but we are enjoying the donuts that are given to us. We hide them from the keepers. They come up and take a box every now and then. Yes, we are doing Senior Tuesday.
Senior Tuesday.
Yeah.
And are you guys also seeking accreditation through the other organization?
Yes, I have reached out. ZAA has contacted me also. Wanted to know what they could do to help support me. So we've got support from both. Comes down to the finances for both of those. Although ZAA said just apply, send it all to me, and then we'll help you work through what we don't like. So
Okay.
we're going to get both.
Okay.
Are they just wanting you to raise more money, or what exactly?
They want a cushion in the bank.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, both of them, especially AZA, we are all under the same umbrella. So we have to come up with the same expectations as the bigger zoos like Denver and San Diego. Even though we're smaller, we don't have the masses. It makes it a little harder for us. But that way, it's an even playing field for everyone. Some of this came up because of COVID, and the big zoos had a horrible time. They had timed entries. They were closed. Denver used a lot of their reserve just trying to get through COVID. We were very lucky in that we did not have to close. We're small enough that everybody kind of spaced themselves out.
If you got accreditation through ZAA, would you be able to go ahead and work on bringing animals in once you have that accreditation?
I can work on that without accreditation.
Without it, okay.
Now is not the time. Winter is a bad time, as is summer. Winter because it's cold, and there's the option, it could so happen that you are on I-80 coming from someplace and you're stuck there between Laramie and Cheyenne for who knows how long with an animal that does not need to be out in the cold. So nobody wants to shift animals in the winter and summer. Summer's too hot, winter's too cold. Spring and fall are the best options. Get that mountain lion exhibit in and hopefully get something in there.
And he starts next week?
He does.
Okay. Okay.
Is it fair to say that during the COVID, you were able to pay off one of your loans during
Yes,
COVID?
yes.
And so would it be fair to say that potentially some of your savings was depleted, but it's not that you don't have money, you have money, but just not as much as you'd like?
We don't have the money we would like to have. A lot of it is tied up with the Shovel Ready grant, which is matching funds.
Okay.
And we're going to look at grants. I've got a whole list that everybody has given me, so hopefully. I'm going to learn to write grants.
And what about staffing, Desiree? Are you doing okay with staffing?
We are. A couple of our staff members we have put to part-time, just to help financially, and it is winter, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Is Dr. Van Dam gonna stay on with you guys as your vet?
He is, as far as I know. He hasn't
Okay.
said otherwise. He's a big support.
Good.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Desiree.
I have a question for Kevin or Kent,
Yeah.
maybe. This seems like a really hard job to generate revenue and donations for the zoo. So our agreement provides a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Are we out of compliance with our agreement?
We, part of the agreement is that the Discovery Center has to maintain or make a good faith effort to maintain AZA accreditation. So, yeah, we need to have a conversation about that. And as I stated before, maybe January would be the time to do that. We provide the zoo with $300,000 a year. It's $75,000 a quarter. And that agreement is up in 2025, I believe. So it'll run through 2024. So, but yeah, that's a conversation we need to have.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
12, reports from staff, boards, and commissions. A, council to discuss and consider action on maintenance agreement number 22 between the city of Scottsbluff and the Nebraska Department of Transportation, and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement.
Good evening.
Hello.
And this is maintenance agreement 22. So what it does, we plow snow, we mow right-of-ways, do a little pothole patching from Avenue I to East Overland. And this goes from the end of December to the 1st of January 24. And for those lane miles, we receive $36,792. And so that would be for this year coming up, January 1 to the end of December 24.
And is that the same as previous years, or?
It is.
It is.
And we do have a letter that it will increase in 25.
Okay.
So in 25, you'll see that come forward.
And the amount they're giving us is sufficient for what we have to do?
It is.
Okay.
If we had to windrow and haul, I would tell you no, but where we can kick this snow off, and we mow 3 times a year on the right-of-ways, pothole patching, we just do the small, they do the big, they do the crack sealing or the removals. And,
Okay.
so it's a fair price. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Scanlon, second by Solomon. Any other questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Scanlon.
Yes.
McCarrigan.
Yes.
Solomon.
Yes.
Caldwell.
Yes.
Vidlac.
Yes.
B, council to discuss and consider action to amend employment agreement with Kevin E. Spencer, city manager, police chief, to increase compensation following positive employment evaluation.
Kind of getting tired of being talked about. 2 meetings in a row.
This is
No,
assumed to be a good conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, officially, thank you guys for the positive review. That was nice. Appreciate it.
okay. So, does anyone have any recommendations for the performance raise for Kevin that they'd like to propose?
I'd like to propose to increase his compensation by 4% and then increases his retirement match 1%, so making it a 10% total retirement match.
Okay. Anyone else?
I was gonna propose just doing a 5% increase.
Okay. To salary,
Yeah, to salary.
okay? Kevin?
I appreciate both offers, so.
Anyone offer that's more enticing than the other?
Probably the 4% and the 1% match,
Okay,
so.
all right. Anyone else have any questions or
And just to
comments?
clarify, the 3% cost of living increase is something that we're seeing across the board for city employees, right? It's the 3%?
It's actually 5%.
It's five.
It was 5%, and that was
yeah.
October 1.
Okay,
So it would be, so,
okay.
okay. Anyone else? So do we have a motion to approve the 4% increase in the salary and 1% in the retirement match?
I move
I think
to-
we already have a motion.
Okay,
We
sorry.
need a second.
I'll
We have
second.
a second, okay. So we have motion by Colwell, second by Scanlon. Any other questions or comments?
Will this start effective immediately, or when will this?
Probably next pay period,
Next period.
which is when?
2 weeks from today, so.
Okay.
There's a new one today, starting today.
Okay. All right. Call the roll, please.
Vidlac,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
McCarrigan,
Yes,
Solomon,
Yes.
Scanlon,
Yes,
Thank you, guys.
you're
It's
welcome.
appreciated.
thank you.
All right, 13, council reports. This item is intended for council members to update and inform other council members of meetings attended since the last city council meeting. Anyone have any meetings?
That meeting was canceled, lack of quorum.
I attended Senator Brian Harden's address at the country club, and so it was good to hear about the things that he's working on and the things he's perceiving to kind of be issues in the future. So he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
Almost didn't make it that
Sounds like
morning, but he made it.
Anyone else? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn?
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
McCarrigan,
Yes.
Scanlon,
Yes.
Caldwell,
Yes.
Vidlac,
Yes.
Solomon,
Yes.
Jury time, that's not through.
We're adjourned.